Morning, you absolute legends. This morning, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that have really caught my attention over the last sort of 6 to 12 months. And I believe, are really going to kind of lead my year. And for those that don't know, I would describe myself as a spiritual person. I'd say the religion I align with most, and I'm not saying I am, but I would align with most, would be Buddhist, just because of my ways of life and my values and beliefs. But I don't actually align to any particular structure or religion. But what's really coming through for me super strong at the moment, and the best way that I can give this weight is, if you've ever heard of quantum entanglement, then you have to understand and be open to, and quantum entanglement is scientific, factually accurate, exists, is actually a thing. If you don't know what it is, just give it a quick Google. I'll try and explain it quickly, but the way I saw it explained, I don't even know if it's right, but you'll get the gist, is if you were to split, what I read was an atom. I don't know if that's correct, because I assumed that, I thought that's how you make an atom bomb, but if you were to split an atom into two particles, and those particles stayed whole and complete, quantum entanglement is the explanation of how, no matter how much space you put in between those two particles, one particle will affect the state of the other particle, I believe, instantly. And we understand very little to explain that. So what I'm getting to is that I believe that there are things that are going on outside of what we understand to be this existence, that helps me make sense of how I've always felt about the world. And I think the first thing that really opened me up to this was the book Conversations with God. But there's a few things now that are really kind of piquing my interest. David the Medium's one of them. He's an Australian guy, unbelievable psychic medium, loads of content online. Another one is a guy named Daryl Anker, who has been channeling an extraterrestrial being called Bashar. I know it sounds batshit crazy, but the test for me is always, even if it wasn't true, could you think of a better way to live or be? And if the answer is yes, then why not? Hey, like, if we can believe that Jesus Christ, and this is the majority, or not the majority, but this is a large section of people that exist on earth, can believe that Mary had an immaculate conception and that Jesus Christ was crucified and rose 3 days later, then why can't we believe things that are just as phenomenal, right? And again, I'm not saying everyone believes those things, but there's a huge percentage of people, we're talking about Christians, the whole Christian faith believes that a woman fell pregnant without going through the usual means that you would to fall pregnant, and that a man was crucified on a cross, died, was buried, and rose from the dead 3 days later. If people can believe that, then why can't we believe other things that are just as phenomenal? And I believe we can. I'm also not saying that those things didn't happen, but if they did happen, I'm saying they happened in parallel, not because that is the one and only way to be and believe, i.e. Christianity, but in parallel with everything else that is believed and that occurs on the earth. Anyway, it's just something I'm bringing into this year in terms of what feels right for me, and what I think will bring me through to what I'm here to do, which I still don't 100% know or understand. But anyway, it is what it is. Keen to get your thoughts. Hope you're having a very nice start to the year. Appreciate you all.